Hello guys, welcome to this Khorne Daemonkin learning curve video. And in this video we're going to talk about the Chaos Space Marines. So who are these guys? They are traitor Space Marines. Space Marines that have thrown the shackles of the Imperium and serve their own desires. But in their indoctrination they don't know any better than to follow someone and to serve a master because they have been conditioned to be that way, and they basically exchange a master for another most of the time. The Khorne Daemonkin Chaos Space Marine don't care for revenge, but for serving their blood god. Unlike other Chaos Space Marines, for example the Black Legion, all they care about is revenge against the Imperium. That's what keeps them together. Khorne Daemonkin Codex Chaos Space Marines are held together by their fanatical devotion to the blood god. They don't necessarily fight for a cause, they fight for the blood god. How I feel that I relate to them is in an emotional way. When you are being repressed by some oppressor, whatever it might be, most of the time the response is an aggressive one. Being a Chaos Space Marine most of the time means that you go all the way on the aggressive, violent reaction kind of thing. And to me, that is what these guys represent. Neither the Imperium or Chaos are good guys per se. In the Chaos Space Marine universe, one must choose between one of the lesser evil masters, and these guys made the wrong choice, or have allowed their emotions and anger to draw their path, and that's basically what they are. These guys are 15 points each, and they used to be 13, but they have 2 extra points because of Mark of Khorne, so it's 15 this time. You can't get away with not getting the Mark of Khorne in the Khorne Daemonkin Codex, even if you don't want it. Everything has it. So there are some people that say that they have a tax, which is the Mark of Khorne, but is not an extra tax. That's what it costs in the Chaos Space Marine Codex. And we're talking about the 6th edition Codex. And let's go over the stat. The Chaos Space Marine have Weapon Skill 4, Ballistic Skill 4, Strength 4, Toughness 4, 1 Wound, Initiative 4, 1 Attack, Leadership 8, and Power Armor Save of 3+. And these are pretty much the same as their Loyalist counterpart. The Aspiring Champion has +1 attack, so he has 2 attacks, and +1 leadership. The unit composition is a unit of 7 Chaos Space Marine and 1 champion, the same as you're seeing here on the screen. Their war gear is power armor, bolt gun, bolt pistol, close combat weapon, frag grenades, and crack grenades. The close combat weapon that comes standard is for the Aspiring Champion. All of the other Chaos Space Marines come with a regular bolter and bolt pistol. Their special rules are Blood for the Blood God, Mark of Khorne, and Skulls for the Skull Throne. The size of a Chaos Space Marine squad can be anything within 8 and 20 Marines. I would personally go with a minimum size squad, which is the 8 Marines. That's because we're trying to save up points for other units in the Codex, because we don't want to put too many eggs in one basket. We want every single choice of our army to be a threat to the enemy and to be scary, so that they have a hard time deciding what they are going to attack first. And if you make a squad too big, it can be easily be tar-pitted or cut off from the battle if your opponent has a lot of mobility. So my philosophy on running this codex and this unit is to bring a minimum size squad. Any model can switch their bolters for close combat weapons. That is something different from the Space Marines. They can switch their bolter for a close combat weapon for free, or they can pay an extra 2 points to get a close combat weapon on top of their bolter. And being normal Chaos Space Marines, you have the flexibility to bring special weapons and heavy weapons if your squad numbers 10 or more. The Aspiring Champion can bring any sort of close combat weapon that he can, such as the Lightning Claw, the Power Fist, Power Sword, or whatever is in that list. So on the challenge, you want to have the best weapon for the job, which is depending if you want to maximize your wound output, you can give him Lightning Claws. If you want him to penetrate 2+ armor, you can give him an Axe of Khorne. If you want him to take down vehicles as well, you can give him a Power Fist. I'm a firm believer that the Power Fist is one of the best options because it gives you the options to deal with armor, monster creatures, and 2+ armor. At the same time, it reduces your initiative, but when you are fighting an equivalent opponent or a lesser opponent that has fewer chances of taking your champion down, he will most likely reject the challenge and denying you extra blood type points that you may have gained otherwise. So if you tempt them with the possibility that they can take down your champion, they might take the chance and try to kill him. If you lose him, that's fine, because you get a blood type point. If they don't kill him and you kill them back, you get the blood type point. If they deny the challenge and you destroy their unit, you get 1 blood type point. But otherwise, if they would have accepted the challenge, they might have killed you and you get a blood type point, or you might have won that challenge, kill the character, kill the unit, and get 2 blood type points. So in my opinion, Power Fists are the way to go. The aspiring champion can bring Melta Bombs. You can give them an Icon of Wrath, and the unit may take a Rhino, which is, in my opinion, a must all of the time. So why is the Rhino a must? Because you get an extra type point if it gets destroyed. Your opponent will hesitate on deciding to destroy your units, and the more units you can bring that are cheap and then can be destroyed fast, the easier you're going to get those blood type points. So always give them a Rhino, because for the 35 points you are going to get a blood type point if it gets destroyed, and you are essentially bringing 2 blood type points in one same squad. So now that I've gone through all of their options, I think this unit is a middle of the road kind of unit. Jack of all trades, master of none. They are not fearless, so you have to deal with the fact that they are selfish and they will run away from a battle. That's not a very corny thing to do, for the Blood God does not respect cowards, and I don't understand why the Chaos Space Marines, being former Space Marines that shall know no fear, have lost that essential rule to their character. What do I mean with middle of the road kind of unit? Because if you want to specialize on close combat, why not bring Khorne Berserkers? And if you are just filling your ranks with cheap troops, why not go with Cultists? These are some sort of a middle ground so that they can do a little bit of both, and they can be customized to take certain roles as you see fit. And to me, there are 3 main uses of this unit that can be customized to be effective at doing something. And I'm going to go over the close combat one first, which is my favorite. And because we have Mark of Khorne, we have to take advantage of having to pay those 2 points to have rage and counterattack. If you have that extra weapon, that means you have 3 attacks if you are charged, 4 attacks if you charge. Plus the blood type point can give you an extra attack, which is pretty good. And that'll make them have 5 attacks each on the charge, and that's pretty awesome in my opinion. So why would you take them instead of the Khorne Berserkers, which have better weapon skill, that will hit more often, and that have Furious Charge? That means that they have +1 strength on their charge. Chaos Space Marines don't have any of that. Why wouldn't you take the Khorne Berserkers instead? I like Khorne Berserkers, and I would feel them all the time. The Chaos Space Marines are a cheaper choice because, in contrast to the Berserkers, if your opponent has a counter to them, they die out, and it's a faster point sink if they get destroyed. And the Chaos Space Marines are a cheaper way to bring some of the same abilities with a plus, that is that they can have special weapons and still do sort of the same thing with fewer points. The second build, I would say, is the shooty one. So if you're going to use your Chaos Space Marines to shoot, since we don't have Havocs or chosen Chaos Space Marines, we need to find an alternative that will do a similar job if we want to hold the backfield and sit on objectives. And for that, I would build a unit with 10 Chaos Space Marines, 2 special weapons, or 1 special and 1 heavy if you prefer, and give your champion combi weapon. That way you'll get basically 3 special weapons for 1 turn and 2 for the rest. You can bring this unit if most of your army is already into assault and you want to keep something in the backfield to hold some objectives. You can go shooty with them, and they can do a better job on holding objectives than the cultist counterpart if you don't like cultists. And the third way to field them is the most expensive and the most versatile. So if you pay an extra 2 points for each of your Chaos Space Marines, you get a Chaos Space Marine that has a close combat weapon and a bolt pistol. That's something that the Space Marines can't do, and you are basically good at anything. You could bring a squad of 2 special weapons. All of your units have a bolt pistol and a close combat weapon, and equip a good close combat weapon and a combi weapon. That'll make this uni pretty flexible. They can do whatever they want to do, but in my opinion that's using a lot of points on a single unit and taking away from other things that you might want to field in the same list. So I wouldn't do that unless I was planning to have 1 good Space Marine unit and the rest of my troops be very cheap cultists or stuff like that. The only reason to take more than 8 Chaos Space Marines, in my opinion, is either if you want a second special weapon or a heavy weapon, or if you're going to give them a lord, or if you want to make a big blob of 20, you have to find a way to give them fearless because they can run away, and that's in direct contradiction of my idea of running a Khorne Daemonkin army, because 20 Marines, it's a lot of points, and you want multiple threats that if they get killed you don't care because you get the blood tide point, and blood tide points make your army better. So when you're taking Chaos Space Marines, you have to ask yourself why all of the time. Why did I bring 2 special weapons? Why do I want close combat weapons? Why this, why that? And it all depends on what you're facing. If you're fighting a horde army, you might want to maximize on the number of attacks and wounds that you can make. And if they don't have a good weapon skill, why go for a specialized Khorne Berserker if you can attack with weapon skill 4 just as well? If you're fighting an assault army that wants to get into close combat with you, you can go the defensive way and give them both the bolt pistols and the close combat weapons so that they can come to you, get 1 turn or 2 of shooting, and when they finally get to assault you, you can attack them back with 3 attacks, having counterattack, or you can win the charge and charge them first before they get to charge you. That way you maximize on the damage that you can make to them. And if they are a horde army, bring flamers. If they're a Terminator army, bring plasmas. If it's a heavy vehicle army, bring meltas, and so on and so forth. And so also something that I wanted to add to this unit that it's very good with both Chaos Space Marines and Khorne Berserkers is that they have frag grenades and crack grenade, which means they don't lose their initiative when assaulting through difficult terrain. That is, in my opinion, something very important that bloodletters and cultists don't have. If you're planning to make the charge and your opponent is cowardly hiding behind terrain, it's a good idea to have a unit that can attack without losing their initiative. So yeah, that's pretty much it. I think I covered all that I wanted to talk about this unit in this video. Please let me know in the comments what experience you have had fielding them and if this video helped you in any way. And let me know in the comments if I left anything out so that I and the viewers will know better and get better at our game. And that's it. Thank you very much for watching this video, and I hope to see you on the next one. You stayed. Great. Thank you very much for watching my video, and if you would like to further support my channel, you can become my Patreon on Patreon. You can pledge as little as $1 a month and you are helping me create more and better content. If you can't, that's fine, because you're helping my channel a lot just for watching and sharing, but you can read all of the details if you follow the link in the description below. I hope you can spare $1 to make this hobby of mine a job for which I can get paid. Thanks for watching, and I hope to see you on the next video.